am Val Jean, and this is my world, at least the way I see it. If you are happy with the current administration, please just scroll on by. This is not the channel for you. If you are unhappy with the current administration and you want to do something about it, come on in, pull up a chair, have a seat, get a pencil and a piece of paper, because we do give homework. Nothing painful, nothing illegal, but we got to make our wishes known. So, how is everybody today? It's Tuesday. My nose itches and raining in St. Louis. I have Dinky Jen in the house. Hi, Jen. How you doing? Good to see you. And since I alternate between 2 and 3, I have to give my fam time to get here. Hi, Granny. Welcome in. Good to see you, Granny. Thank you for coming. How you doing? I think I lost Dinky Jen. Granny, did you see Reese this morning? It would have been afternoon for you. This afternoon? I ask a lot of questions. I have to give people a chance to answer me. There's Jen. She's back. How you doing, Jen? Good to see you. Granny, how are things down there in North Carolina? And I wish that I could do a live stream of the election down in Texas, because I really, really, really want to see who wins the nomination, because I'm Team Crockett. Tallarico's okay, but I'm Team Crockett. There's Racine and Tom. How you doing? Good to see you. Flower Tammy, welcome in. So good to have you here. Jen says she's doing okay, crocheting hat number 3. Okay now. Granny said she didn't see it live. She'll go back and watch the replay. It was a premiere. I guess he's doing his live tonight. I guess. Granny says it's cool and gloomy. Everybody is saying hi to everybody. Good to see everybody here. Okay, we've been talking about the voting, and we're keeping track of when we can and what's going on. I got mine in the mail yesterday, I think. Blow, thank you. I got my voting thing in the mail. And this is from St. Louis County. I don't know what the city does because we've been separated. But inside, they give us a checklist, when our elections are, when we can do our absentee voting, when we can do, when our registration deadline ends, and when early voting begins, so we can do absentee and early, or we can go stand in line. And this is a magnet that we can put on our refrigerator so we don't forget. And then they break it all down for you so you know what's happening, the maintenance, and to display that you voted. So they've made the whole thing over here in St. Louis County, and we have done that before. But they also have a permanently disabled list. Voters with a permanent incapacity or disability can join. Once on the list, a voter will automatically receive an absentee ballot application for each election within their jurisdiction. So that is something that they have started for 2026. We talked to Pebbles about that last time or the time before, because her voting place is not wheelchair adaptable. So if they have something like that where she is, that might help. And then they also have a QR code. It says update your information, keeping voter information current, especially addresses, keeps eligible voters on the rolls, prevents delay on election day, and ensures voters receive important information. And we got that back in October. So they are really trying to do what they can to make sure that we can vote. Um, and then they even give you the chain of steps, chain of custody, to make sure that your voting is secure and that it will be counted. So keep an eye out and see if you get something similar to this in your mail, or call your county board of elections and see if they give you, you know, the steps you need to do to be able to vote, because in November we have to go vote. We have to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Granny says she's very much Team Crockett too. Love that gal. I love that girl. I really do. I really do. And not just because she's from St. Louis, just because she's got good head on her shoulder. Hi, Susan. You're here and listening, running errands with Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Good to see you. We dropped off donations at the food bank, Goodwill, and the Cancer Center. Ryan said it was hard going in there. I know. Hugs and smooches, Ryan. I am so sorry. And he will be listening too. Thank you, Ryan. Cause baby, that's hard. That is hard. Um, and Granny is sending hugs to both of you. Chris, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. How are you? Chris, keep an eye out for something similar to this coming in your mail. And they tell you, you know, what your voting is, where you need to go, and what you need to do to make sure that you stay current. And they also offer for you to become an election judge. And no, I don't think I want to do that, even though you get paid while helping your community. Anybody who wants a few extra ducats, see if you can become an election judge. I have a cousin that does that. You voted today? Yay, yay, yeah, but that wasn't for November. We've got to vote April the 7th, but I want November to come on. We have, when I was running around trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today, it just kept getting murkier and murkier and murkier. Then I ran across Rachel Maddow and her whole show. I was like, we need to talk about that. And we need to talk about that. And we need to talk about that. So I've got like the first four highlights that we're going to go through, because, you know, I'm not going to put you all through the whole show, and I don't want to get a copyright strike. Yes, ours in April is going to be local as well. And I used to not worry about the local things, but I vote now. I'm always on the wrong side of the voting booth, but I vote anyway. Let them know I don't agree with this. So, we're going to get started with Miss Rachel. And it was so funny. I watched this morning. I went to the MS Now. Didn't show up. I put in her name. It didn't show up. I went through my history. It wasn't there. I said, maybe I was on the phone. Went through my history on the phone and found it. And I'm like, why is it on the phone and it's not on the computer? So I found her. But it was kind of like, come on now, I know I saw her. I did not hallucinate Rachel. I do a lot of things, but not Rachel. So, Oh, Rachel, I'm sorry I stopped with you here looking like that, but all we can do is all we can do.
For everything else, Iran is. Iran is a big country, more than 90 million people, and they are a powerful country with a sophisticated, intensively resourced, world-class, ruthless set of intelligence and security services, which, of course, target their own people at home to disastrous, murderous effect, particularly recently. But those security services and intelligence services also have tentacles all around the world. And they have used them to target the regime's perceived enemies all over the world, including in the United States of America. Luckily, the U.S. government has been all over them on this. They know what the Iranians are capable of. They know what they've been trying to do. Among other things, the United States government has specialist counterintelligence agents in the FBI who specialize in these kinds of threats, specifically emanating from Iran. It's a group at the FBI. It's a unit called CI-12, CI for counterintelligence, CI-12. And thank God we've got them now, right? Now that we just killed Iran's supreme leader and started a huge new war with Iran, with apparently no idea what the consequences would be of us doing that, at least here at home, even if we're just going to be selfish in terms of the risk to us. Well, thank God we've got a unit like CI-12 that really uniquely knows this stuff, that's on it. Right? The group that got that Air Force intelligence spy who defected to Iran, that got the people who tried to assassinate John Bolton and discovered the plots to kill Mike Pompeo and Brian Hook, and even the plot to kill Donald Trump. Thank God we've got this group, CI-12, right? Last week, FBI Director Kash Patel, while he was coming off a wave of terrible press about U.S. taxpayers paying him to fly to Italy so he could go to a hockey game and chug beer in a locker room, while he was heading into a whole new round of fresh reporting about how he has ordered an elite FBI SWAT team to be personal bodyguards and basically a chauffeur service for his girlfriend. In the middle of that bittersweet symphony of competence, last week, FBI Director Kash Patel fired a dozen FBI agents and staff in the elite counter-espionage and counterintelligence unit CI-12. We don't know why Donald Trump just started this.
When Rachel was giving her whole lead-in, I said, but they probably fired them. And she went through and she said, but they just fired them. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew they were gone. So we get two here. I don't appreciate my tax dollars and the FBI SWAT unit being used to protect Patel's girlfriend, and rehire the CI-12 agents because we need them. That's two. I got two out of that one because I was like, look, that's craziness. Granny says, I love Rachel Maddow too. So many AI videos of her, though. I dislike very much AI for stuff like that. I know. And AI has gotten so good, it's really hard for me to tell who's real and who's AI. I don't appreciate it either. Dinky Jen says, I got paid about 20 years ago for counting the votes at our city hall. Okay, I thought I could apply every year, but not been back since. Well, if you feel up to it and if they have it at a not too hot and not too cold season, think about going back. Chris says local determines electoral college people. Does it matter who the people are in the electoral college because they get their votes on by the number assigned to that state? Which really makes me unhappy. I think they should get rid of the electoral college, but that's just me. Yeah, he's ick. Yuck. Been an election judge. Don't know that I qualify now. Well, if it's something you're interested in, call your election board or your alder person and see. I was always working, so I couldn't do it, and then we had lockdown, and then I'm kind of like, I got shorty. I got shorty. Yeah, I got two out of that because I was sitting there going, no, I cannot. And they're in the description. I actually got them in the description. I'm so proud of me. But I can't get there from here. Hold on. I forgot to hit that tab. I thought I could copy and paste and put them in the little spiral thing and click from there, but it doesn't give me hyperlinks. So I was like, oh, Father. So Rachel only had a 12-minute show, but she covered everything. Let's see, that's number one. Number two. Oh, and of course, I had a commercial. Okay, hold on. Skip that. Pause that.
Favor?
Rachel, I said pause. Trying to get back to where I was. Okay, share tab instead. I remembered. Aren't you proud of me?
Or in Iran. The Washington Post reported this weekend, and the New York Times reported today that Trump did it basically as a favor, that there was no U.S. intelligence that Iran posed any imminent threat to us, but Saudi Arabia and Israel told Trump to do it, and so he did it. Because, hey, you know, America first. Strongman. We're just going to put our military at the disposal of other countries because they can tell Trump what to do with it? Quote, the attack came despite U.S. intelligence assessments that Iran's forces were unlikely to pose an immediate threat to the U.S. mainland within the next decade. But he did it anyway, because Israel and Saudi Arabia told him to, and he apparently does what they say. And now 6 American service members are known to have been killed, and many more injured. There's also new reporting tonight that the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia has been hit by 2 drones. The Washington Post is now also reporting that 2 Defense Department employees, U.S. Defense Department employees, have been wounded in an Iranian drone attack on a hotel in Bahrain. And I mean, in terms of what we are heading into and the kind of risk we're heading into, these are the sort of headlines that we're seeing tonight. Quote, earthquake in the Gulf. Iran war expands to 12 countries in 72 hours. Just 72 hours after the U.S. and Israel began bombing Iran, the war has already consumed nearly the entire Middle East, reached the gates of Europe, and raised new fears of attacks on American soil. This is the front page of the New York Times that we woke up to today. U.S. troops killed as blasts jolt Mideast. Fear of wider war after Iran's response. Here's the headline at the Washington Post, quote, Trump pursues Iranian decapitation without a plan for what comes next. Quote, security officials in the Middle East and in Europe have raised concerns that the U.S. is unleashing forces that could spill across borders, disrupt global trade, and lead to asymmetric terrorist attack reprisals, all with no certainty that the remaining Islamic hardliners won't ultimately retain their hold on power anyway. Spill across borders, disrupt global trade, lead to asymmetric terrorist attack reprisals. Given those kinds of threats that Trump has just unleashed with this war that he started for reasons he still cannot clearly articulate, I mean, given those kinds of threats, given that Pandora's box that has just been opened, do you feel like we've got all our national security ducks in a row here in this country now that we started this thing? Do you feel like our leaders in the U.S. government are really on the ball right now when it comes to national security, when it comes even just to domestic national security, when it comes to managing potential fallout from this thing that Donald Trump has just unleashed? I mean, you can start with our Secretary of Defense, right? I mean, his immediate previous job before Donald Trump gave him the keys to the U.S. Defense Department was that he was the weekend co-host on the cable news show Fox and Friends. Now we're at war with Iran. 6 U.S. service members killed so far, many more wounded. Hegseth also apparently just lost 3 F-15 fighter jets to friendly fire because the U.S. military did not deconflict with our allies in Kuwait, so Kuwait shot down our planes. Great. Here at home, we're of course protected by the FBI. Yeah, about that. Again, we'll have more on that with Carol Lenning in just a moment. We're also protected by the Department of...
Hold, Rachel. Friendly fire. Because they didn't tell anybody they were coming. They just showed up. And somebody said, oh, there are planes up there. And started shooting them down. And they're like, oh, that's the U.S. They didn't tell us they were coming. Chris says, but our state, the electors decide who to put votes towards. Oh. Okay. So America First doesn't have any meaning. Oh, no, not at all. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Not if you are a dictator and a tyrant and you can take this little bitty, insecure, weak man and make him feel like he's all that and a bag of chips. Granny says T is trying to get his bunker or ballroom built quickly. The courts have put a stop on that, and he said that he might leave those gold curtains up because he really likes them. Oops, Susan, stop running. An armed forces CEO said that Trump is anointed. What was he smoking, Susan? Anointed. O-M to the G. That's blasphemy. That is pure and simple. That is horrible. He needs to go back to boot camp because he does not deserve to be a CO. I agree, Granny. That's just ooh. So the question for that is, where is our intelligence? Because the intelligence should have told the people we were coming, number one. And number two, the intelligence should have told them that that big building was an all-girls school that they were bombing. And so they bombed females who won't grow up to have children. And where is the pro-life if you don't have women to bear the children? So I got 2 out of that one, too. Yeah, what are they smoking? I don't know what they're smoking, Tammy, because this is ridiculous. And for those who weren't over at VJ's Crochet yesterday, I went to the doctor, and they always ask, do you feel secure at home? Do you feel threatened? Do you feel unsafe? And I said, unsafe makes me feel insecure. And the nurse looked at me and he's like, what? I said, the president makes me feel threatened. I do not feel secure. And he just looked at me and I said, but I'm fine at home. He says, that's the important thing. I'm like, I'm fine at home, but no, I don't feel secure in this country because this is madness. This is pure and simply madness. So I'm kind of like, how much more dirt? No, I'm not going to ask that question because they'll show me. I'm not going to ask that question. Somebody was going through the presidents talking about Iran and Iraq and all of that, and the 4 presidents whose voices you heard on the podcast, they were all Republicans. Bush 1, Bush 2. 45 and 47. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, they drank the Kool-Aid. They bent the knee. They kissed the ring. I don't. I don't know how. Oh, and Kristi Noem is currently at the U.S. Senate. She's in a Senate hearing, but I don't expect too much to come out of that because there's more Republicans on the committee than there are Democrats, and two of the Republicans are my two minions, Schmidt and Hawley. So I already know they're going to vote for Kristi just because. Just because. So she's got two votes there automatically. I was like, gosh. But she's currently in D.C.
This war in Iran. Washington Post reported.
Sorry, wrong tab. Sorry. So sorry.
Of Homeland Security, which is run by this person. Kristi Noem, who you will remember took the Coast Guard Commandant's house for herself, who's been focused most intently during her time in office on sending militarized masked federal troops all over the United States to kill and terrorize people here at home. Kristi Noem is currently trying to stand up a huge new network of prison camps Donald Trump to send people to without trial.
Because I totally missed that. Sorry about that.
About that. Again, we'll have more on that with Carol Lenning in just a moment. We're also protected by the Department of Homeland Security, which is run by this person. Kristi Noem, who you will remember took the Coast Guard Commandant's house for herself, who's been focused most intently during her time in office on sending militarized masked federal troops all over the United States to kill and terrorize people here at home. Kristi Noem is currently trying to stand up a huge new network of prison camps for Donald Trump to send people to without trial. Kristi Noem already doing great. She is in charge of our Homeland Security right now at this incredibly fraught, stupid, dangerous time, now that Trump has started this war. Specifically, I should mention that also means that Kristi Noem is in charge of our cyber defense. I mentioned that Iran's security services and intelligence services are pretty sophisticated and well-resourced, and they're thought of as having pretty wide international reach. One of the things they're best at and most ambitious at is cyber warfare. Well, Kristi Noem, in her infinite wisdom, put who in charge of America's cyber defense? It's this gentleman. Politico just profiled him. You see the headline there: canceled contracts, a failed polygraph, and personal disputes inside the turbulent tenure of Kristi Noem's former cyber czar. It's former. He's only been former since Thursday, because they finally kicked him out of that job on Thursday. The nation's top cybersecurity official lost his job on Thursday, less than 48 hours before the Trump administration started a war with Iran, a particularly adept cyber rival. I mean, this is the Homeland Security Department's premier cybersecurity division. And who is this guy? Quote, he had no prior experience in the federal government before Kristi Noem appointed him to lead the agency last May. But he had served a 10-month stint under then Governor Noem as South Dakota's chief information officer. Okay. Quote, in August, he triggered a DHS-wide damage assessment by uploading sensitive agency contracting documents into a public version of ChatGPT, information that other staff at the agency weren't permitted to use for security reasons. He also failed a counterintelligence polygraph exam last July. He failed the polygraph? Yes, Homeland Security later dismissed the polygraph as, quote, unsanctioned, and accused staff of, quote, misleading him about the need for the test. So to be clear, Kristi Noem put this guy in charge of cybersecurity for the country. He then failed a counterintelligence polygraph exam. And Kristi Noem's response to that was, well, you shouldn't have made him take that test. And she kept him on in the job. Well, he was fine in South Dakota. So you can just imagine the kind of brilliance we have had at the helm of the nation's top cybersecurity agency in the United States, a particularly key job now that Trump has started a war with Iran. What else do you need to know about him? Well, there's this. Well, last summer, he temporarily suspended a CISA employee who had flashed a middle finger at his Tesla Cybertruck while it sat unoccupied in an agency parking lot. Footage of the incident was captured by the car's onboard camera. The director had the CISA security office identify the employee. The employee did not appear to know whose car it was at the time. He or she flipped off the vehicle. The employee was frustrated because the truck had been left in a shared electric vehicle charging port 4 days at a time. So this employee gives the Cybertruck the finger in the parking lot. And this guy goes into his dash cam footage and figures out who gave his truck the finger, and then has that employee who works at the nation's premier cybersecurity agency suspended from his or her job because that person had the temerity to flip off his truck while he was not in it. That's who Kristi Noem put in charge of America's cybersecurity, and he only got relieved of his responsibilities in that job on Thursday. How did he last so long in that job? According to Politico's reporting today, quote, Noem was hesitant to remove him until recently because she and Homeland Security Department Special Advisor Corey Lewandowski feared that firing him would, quote, reflect poorly on her. Okay.
Now tell me, what reflects more poorly on her? Keeping him or letting him go? I vote keeping him looks more poorly on her. What say you in the chat? Chris says, didn't the orange man say anyone who took the fifth is guilty? I believe I did hear that somewhere. I believe I did. And Chris says, we're open on all fronts. Help! They fired the people who keep us safe. They fired the luckily incompetent person working the cyber crimes. Does anybody here feel safe? I don't. Tammy agrees with me. Thank you, because I'm kind of like, you held on to him because you didn't want to look bad. And I'm sorry. I'm going to take a step back because for me, she looked poor the whole time she was on the stage with 47 while he was swaying to Ave Maria after the person had collapsed out in the audience and they were waiting for EMS, and she just stood there. I would have walked off the stage, but that's just me. She really wanted that job. The other thing is, while she's living in the commandant's housing, are we paying for that? Because I know when they get homes in D.C., they get a little stipend. But are we paying for her to live there? Because if we are, we need to write a letter about that too. Because I'm not paying to support her. That's not what my taxes are for. So in going through Rachel's little 12-minute MSNBC thing here, and the points where we have stopped are in the description, there are a slew of things we can write about. Because the more Rachel says, the worse it seems. And then she was saying that was it Levine person, is also doing a piece on the FBI. I have not found that one yet because I was busy pulling this apart, but and then 47 goes over there and bombs Iran, doesn't tell anybody, and he's down in Mar-a-Lago at a party. And as Jasmine says, he always does this on Friday night. because we're not in session over the weekend, and it will be Monday before we can ask any questions about it. Because Johnson will not call them in over the weekend for a special session. So they have to wait until Monday. And he does all of this when Congress is out. No, I do not feel safe. Thank you. It's not just me, because she looks, thank you. She looks bad regardless. Thank you, Chris. I agree. And Granny agrees with Chris, because this is bad. And Summer Lee, well, this was last Tuesday when they had the State of the Union. Summer Lee was saying that she was writing up articles of impeachment against Pam Bondi. I have not heard how far that has gone, but Summers had it with Pam Bondi. She got to go. She's got to go. Jen says, how did she get the job? Because she was the MC on one of Trump's rallies. Did T appoint her for her? You know, I really was surprised that he nominated her, because she wasn't blonde. You know, he has this penchant for blondes, and I was like, she's not going to get it. She's a brunette. Color me shocked. I really was shocked. Chris says, is there anything we can do to protect ourselves in the cyber realm? She has not said so yet. A couple of the things that you can do is not sign on to the Wi-Fi in like internet cafes and hotels, and you know, when you go places and they have free Wi-Fi, don't sign into them. I have used the free Wi-Fi in hotels, but the minute I check out, I delete that whole thing from my phone. Because people have found ways to hack into those free Wi-Fi's. Because I went to Panera's once and logged in because I was sharing information with my cousin, and when I got home, my antivirus had stopped an attack. Yes, I have antivirus on my telephone. For that reason, I was so happy. Pebbly Pooh will catch the replay. My aid, housing, and excessive mishandling of billing is causing complications to my disabilities and cognitive functions. Baby, I'm so sorry. And I was looking for you earlier. So if you don't feel like doing the whole thing, Pebbles, at least do the front part, because we were talking about voting at the beginning, and give you something to look for in your area. This is just madness, because we have absentee voting, early voting, and voting on election day. So we talked earlier that your polling place is not ADA compatible, but you can probably do mailing. And I'm so sorry you're having those issues, girl. And the one thing, Pebbles, this whole little segment of Rachel Maddow, it's only about 12 minutes long, but take your time and watch it and dissect it, and you can write all the letters you want, because I've gotten 5 letters so far, and I think we've only gone through 6 minutes. No, we've gone through 11. Oh, we've gone through 11 minutes. You all want to do the last 2 minutes? We've done well, I've skipped ahead though. Blondie. Yeah, Granny, that's what they call her, Blondie. Yeah, we got to work on do you get any Pebbles, is Ayanna Presley your rep in Maryland? Who's your rep? Pebbles, beware AI is denying medical care across the board. What? OMG. Lord help. Lord help. Pebbles says, thank you. I am looking for a hands-on caseworker. None available. Check with your congressperson. See what they can do. Because this is craziness. Maryland has outsourced the care of this care program. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Maryland has outsourced the care of this care program to AI in Iowa. In Delaney, Iowa. So is that from the governor level? Who outsourced it? Is it the Department of Health in Maryland? You know I'm going to ask. Community first choice. Is that what the program's called, or is that your insurance? You don't know. The reason I asked is because everybody's got a boss. Go up the ladder. Because that's craziness for Maryland to outsource to Iowa, and AI is denying everybody. How is that making America healthier? Oh, and I forgot, while I was at the doctor's, they put placards up. Are you sick? Have you been around anybody sick? Da 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 da. And this lady said, measles has been gone. Has it made a resurgence? And the lady at the desk says, yes, it's back. And I'm standing there wondering, where in the hell have you been for the last year? But I didn't say anything. I didn't start telling her about the lack of immunizations. I did not open my mouth. You all would have been so proud of me. Possibly, yes. The letters sent are Maryland Department of Health. Oh. Forcing us to warehousing and nursing homes. Oh, what the hell? No. Okay. Write to your congressperson, because they spend more money on nursing homes than they do having you in your individual home. Even with a caregiver, you save money being in your own home. And see, well, let's see, what time is it? We got a few minutes. Anybody want to go on a road trip? You don't need a permission slip. And as bad as I hate Mr. Google, we're going to go to Mr. Google. Oh, Lord, here we go. Chris says it's not making America better. It is a way to prioritize. Yes, 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 it is. Yes, it is. And then remember, that's Darwinism in reverse. Because only the strong will survive. The elderly and the sick will be the first ones to go. Let me see if I can move this up so you all can see it. To get a caseworker in Maryland, you should apply through your local Department of Social Services, in person, by mail, or via fax. as they handle services for disability, family assistance, and adult services. For specific needs, contact 211 Maryland to find resources or apply online for health-related casework through Maryland Health Connections. Let's see here. In-home aid services. You've got adult protective services, personal care, dressing, bathing, transferring, grooming, eating, chores, cooking, laundry, other. Okay. People aged 18 or older residing in Maryland who have functional disabilities and need assistance with personal care, chores, and or activities. Da 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 da. Individuals or their caregivers should call the local Department of Social Services in the county or city where the applicant lives. Okay. Pebbles, have you gone through social services? Yes, road trip. But our lifespan is shortened, therefore cheaper. Oh, God. Yeah, that. Chris, you're right, but that's a sad way of looking at it, but you're right. Prioritize the young and healthy. Yes. Pebble says, I did. I called 311 and 211. They want me to transport. I'm not sure if those applications have been approved. They want you to transport. Prioritizing being done by those not yet needing services. Now, that is really sad. That is CFCS aids. So, okay, so those are them. Let's see what else they got. Have you tried the Maryland Centers for Independent Living, Advocacy and Services? If the individual is over 18 and needs help with daily living, they may qualify for protective services or care coordination help. But that's the one you're doing, the Department of Annapolis. Oh, they have case management in Annapolis? Oh, okay. We're not being abused, but we're being neglected. I want to report adult abuse, get more information on respite care, get information on social services for adults. Okay. They don't make it easy to get old. And you know they should, because 47 is darn near 80. Apply for benefits. Report welfare recipient fraud. Maryland offers support as Trump administration's new SNAP work requirements begin to impact customers this March. Baltimore City Department of Social Services office opens inside Baltimore City MVA branch. Governor Moore announces Sunbucks feeds more than 604,000 children. What about the elderly? We are the state human services provider. We help Marylanders buy healthy food, pay energy bills, and obtain medical assistance. We also provide stable environments for children and adults. We may be able to help you. You can also call our main center at 800-332-6347 to reach us anytime. Have you called these people, Pebbles? I know you've been working on this for a long time. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, copy and paste, please, and thank you. Okay, Pebbles, screenshot that because it's not going to let me copy and paste it. I don't know what is the problem. There we go. With my touchpad these last couple of days. Is Darcia here? Let me scroll up. That's CFCAs. Okay, go up. Go up, go up. You've called the Social Services Main Office in Rockville. Community choice. Community first choice. My aide can't do technology. Yes, CIL is independence now. They give you resources. Wrong county. Azadi. Hi, Darcia. Welcome in. Thank you for coming. How you doing, girlfriend? Chris says, VJ and everyone who has Medicare, check your insurance for AI disapproval of charges. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Roberta, honey, we're just happy to see you here. There is always a replay. There is no need to rush. I'm just happy to see you. And you might, want to look at this from the beginning because we talked about voting and what's going on in our whirlpool of a country. Pebble says, my landlord is horrid. One place trying to help, HOC housing, not answering phone or messages. I know you've tried for months. I know you have. I know you've been working on this for quite some time. That's why we're doing a field trip so we can see if we can help you. I'm glad you're home, Susan. Put your feet up and get something nice and cool to drink. Granny D, Roberta wants to know if you voted. Pebble says, I don't know if Baltimore can help Montgomery County. Well, see, that's the thing. Isn't Baltimore the state capital? That's why I read that one, because we can apply, even being here in Jeff City. If we're trying to do something statewide, we apply to Jeff City because that's where our state seat is. So you might want to look at your state capital and see if they can't help you. I don't know. I would think Westmore would be on that. Kim, welcome in. Thank you for coming. How are you? Oh, there's no need to be sorry, honey. That's why we're here. We're trying to find stuff to do. Roberta says, Pebbles, at least they might be able to give you some directions, right? I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay. And moving slow is acceptable. You don't have to take on any more than you feel like doing. AI is taking over. Oh my gosh. Well, if you ever come across the direct numbers and write down the extensions of the people that you talk to so that you can dial in directly and dial in their extension and bypass AI as much as you can. Oh, Granny, I'm so sorry. You didn't do your early voting. You can always wear a diaper. I'm just saying. Yeah, we've all been there. Pebble says, I know y'all. I appreciate you all. We trying to help. hope we all feel better soon. Roberta says, I worked the polls. Uh, what kind of poll, Roberta? I know you've been around a lot. Did you do the Medea poll? Roberta says, I worked the polls for a few hours. I'm exhausted. Two snaps and a thumb up. Go ahead, girlfriend. I like that. You have Delaney and also Brooks. I don't know anything about either one of them. Yes, thank you for working the polls. Local is Bacombe and Gerwald. I don't know any of them. Maryland capital is Annapolis. Really? I always thought it was Baltimore. You all know I'm geographically challenged, so that no surprise there. That's fab, Roberta. Thanks for that advice. Yeah, that's oh my gosh. Uh Roberta says, I talked myself into it. I can sit and watch people. Susan says Baltimore is the base for Social Security. Because that's the address that's always on the information that comes into my mailbox. That's where I got it. That's where I got it. Oh my gosh. I wish I could help. Okay, let's see. You are in. Let me go back up and see if I can copy and paste this. We got just a couple more minutes. What is going on in everybody else's counties, cities, state? Is everybody melting the ice? I know you've tried from I know you've tried. I know you've tried. This is ridiculous. And first of all, elderly people should not have to jump through hoops to get the services that they are entitled to. And if you have an aid that is technologically challenged, that helps you zero. Community first choice. I mean, honestly now. Okay, it is a Medicaid caregiver program. Hire family as paid caregivers. Contact us today, caregiver of your choice. We come to you. Flexible work schedule, unlimited overtime. Request information and enroll now. Is an optional Medicaid state plan benefit established by the Affordable Care Act. Oh, well, that answers that. That provides home and community-based services to individuals with disability or high care needs, allowing them to avoid institutionalization. It offers self-directed care, including personal assistance, support for daily activities, and backup systems. Okay. Not all states provide it. It is states operating this program receive a 6% point increase in federal matching funds. Not all states participate, but it is utilized in places like Connecticut, Maryland, and Colorado. To apply, people typically contact their state's Department of Social Services or Medicaid office. My Place CT, Community First Choice. See, yeah, you're being given the royal runaround. We are going to keep an eye out for Community First Choice, everybody. Please and thank you, and see if you can help assist our Pebbly Poo. What county are you in, Pebbles? Because that's craziness. Used you there, ex worked at Social Security, and oh. Pebbles says trying to call and email when I can focus. It takes a lot of brain power. It really does. VJ, I went in looking like that woman. Tell me you didn't. Please tell me you didn't. Oh my gosh. Oh, Pebble says technology for the elderly is a brick wall. See, they try to make it hard for you. They really do. VJ, remember? Oh, I forgot. But still, we have all these YouTubers from Kenya and Nigeria, and they're out here on YT podcasting. So being from Kenya is not a deterrent. Pebble says, I was asked by one HHS person, what will I do? What will I do with not enough hours? How will I take care of myself? I told her I refuse to be in a nursing home. That's craziness. CFC did annual eval. Hours cut date 6/8/22. I have a letter of hearing from 2024 approved. You're in Montgomery County. Okay. This one doesn't know. Oh, poor thing. We're going to pray for you. Montgomery County participates Susan, but they won't give her a caseworker because her aide has had her hours cut, and they're trying to force her to go into a nursing home rather than provide her aide with the number of hours she needs for the week. They do. They do. Because, see, she says, what will I do with not enough hours? How will I take care of myself? I told her I refuse to go in a nursing home. So they've cut her aide's hours, and they cut them back in 22. And she has a letter of hearing from 2024 approval. and she can't get a caseworker. They haven't scheduled your hearing, have they? And she says it's the third time Maryland has tried to put her in a home. Susan, since you used to live out there, you got any additional resources or contacts out there that might be able to help Pebbles? Because she's been going through this for since 2022, and they're giving her the royal runaround, and they're really trying to institutionalize her, which is stupid because it costs more money. Roberta says, Pebbles, this may sound crazy talk, but have you thought about getting a housemate that is an assistant with reduced rent? Oh, that's an idea. If she can find somebody that she trusts. Pebbles says, until the hearing, I can keep 40. Not scheduled yet. Maryland legal aid has no funds. I have a voucher, not allowed a roommate. Oh, man. Man, man, man. Yeah, you need a caseworker. Um, write to the governor. I'm serious. Write to Westmore and tell him everything step by step from 2022, and tell him you need some help because this is ridiculous, and you're a taxpayer. Oh my gosh. Susan, if you think of any contacts, please let Pebbly Pooh know. I know when you go to sleep tonight, you're going to wake up at about 2 o'clock and say, so and so still works at. And that's what she needs to know. I want to thank everybody who has spent this last hour with me. You all are the best. Okay, all, I'm going to wash up and lay down. I hear you. Pebble says, HUD managed by AOC. I started with non-elderly disabled to now housing choice. Oh, gosh. Yes, hugs. Don't forget the orange guy cut out a lot of resources for people. That's true. That's why we're going around and see if Susan remembers anybody who is a direct contact who might be able to get her through to what she needs, because she's getting the royal runaround. Susan says, my son has a friend in the police department. I don't know if he can help. I'll tell you, I have time on my hands. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you so much, Susan, because she's doing all the right things, but she's not getting any help. Jen says, aren't there any homes that have a warden on site? We call them sheltered accommodations. Your own flat that is like a halfway house with security, not a care home. No, well, that's not the problem. The problem is that she needs somebody to help her during the day, and they've cut the hours on her caregiver, and she needs them to extend the hours. Pebble says, sorry, y'all. I'm at my wit's end. I know, baby girl. I know. Roberta says, Pebble, don't apologize for asking for help. That's my Pebbles, if you don't mind contacting Miss Susan and give her, you know, timeline and see if her son's friend or can find you some help, because this is stupid. This is craziness. This is not how this country is supposed to be. And Susan says, I know how to dig and research. Yes, ma'am. I can dig and research, but I don't know anything about Maryland, which is the problem for me. I think those are assistant living, 115 unlicensed in Baltimore with neglect and abuse. Yeah, we don't want that. Part of the problem, Jen, is when you go into places like that, you deteriorate rather quickly. It's better for you not to go there. Prayers, Pebbles, for some luck heading your way. Amen. Any help is good. I second that. Everybody be safe. Pebbles, hold a positive thought, because if it can be done, Miss Susan can do it. Just let her know where you've been and who you've talked to, so she doesn't spend a lot of time doing what you've already done, and she can use her little gray cells to get you under the wire. Because, yeah, that's craziness. Maybe there's another caregiver who needs more hours. There's always more to the story. I asked that the last time I talked to her, and they're not giving her straight answers. I well versed in the resources. Technology is the wall. You're well versed in the resources. Technology is the wall. Well, if you know the resources, Miss Susan knows the technology. She got you. She got you. She's good. My friend lived until he was 93 in those and had fun. But see, the difference is you all have universal care. We don't. And if you don't go to specific places that accept the kind of insurance you have, you can't go there. It can be across the street. And if they don't accept your insurance, you can't go there. We don't have universal care, which is part of the problem with America's health care. I know we have different, yeah. We need yours. Canada tried to get us in their plan. This one is good. I've been through many since 2019. Okay, good. Well, Miss Susan, get you with the technology, because she can do it. Pebbly Poo, I sent you an invoice last night because I forgot you got yarn from Miss Susan. So she's got yarn and everything to send you once you see your new invoice. My bad. I sorry. No universal care and high med costs. Oh yeah, my meds are higher than they were last year, but I've gotten off a lot of meds, so that helps too. Everybody be sweet, be safe, hold a positive thought from Miss Pebbles. Those who have time, please go in the description and click the link and watch Rachel Maddow from the beginning, because she has some good stuff on that program. And take every little point that she covers and write a letter on each point. And if you don't have time to go through the whole thing, just copy and paste the 5 little links that I put down there. And I didn't get through the whole thing again, but I'm going to do the whole thing again. Yes, ma'am, I'll get to it, BJ. I want the yarn. Need to prioritize. Yes, ma'am, you prioritize. I just wanted you to know, because I know you're busy right now doing that. I just wanted you to know that it was my fault. I didn't send you the invoice, and I sent you the invoice last night. So no, I was just letting you know, whenever you can, because this is a priority. This is a priority. So I now have all of my invoices out. Yay me. So everybody be safe. Love you all. Pebbles, you prioritize, and please don't go crazy. Just tell Miss Susan every resource that you've talked to, and then she knows where to go, and with her little technology and her hidden resources, we'll get you someplace. We'll get you someplace. Uh, and write to your congressperson, honey. Right. Right. Yeah, girl, we love you. We love you. No, I just wanted you to know it was my fault. It was my fault. I didn't remember. You kept saying I gotta send you an email, and I kept saying I think I got everything, but I forgot you got yarn from Miss Susan. So yeah, you were busy, I was busy, but we'll get it done, and we ain't gonna fall out over no yarn. Miss Susan's got the yarn, you got the invoice. I finally got all my jobs done. Pebbles, stay sane and love the puppies for me from Chris. Okay, everybody, love you all. Take care now. Bye bye. Printer's dead. Hope they can read cursive. OMG. You'll have to text them. You'll have to email them.